Welcome back to Official Sigma Male, your definitive source for understanding the enigmatic Sigma mindset. Today, we're diving deep into the silent behaviors that truly define a Sigma male. These aren't the flashy traits that pretenders display. These are the subtle, powerful habits that real Sigmas cultivate when no one is watching. Before we begin this journey into the core of Sigma psychology, take a moment to subscribe to our channel. Why? Because understanding these principles isn't just about knowledge, it's about transformation. Each video we create is designed not just to inform, but to elevate your mindset to new heights of self-mastery. Don't miss our upcoming content that will continue to unlock the secrets of true Sigma potential. Now, let's begin. La soledad estratégica. The authentic Sigma male embraces solitude not out of social awkwardness, but as a deliberate strategic choice. When he disconnects from the world, he's actively engaging in his most powerful practice, self-development without distraction. This isn't the isolation of the socially inept. It's the calculated withdrawal of someone who knows their time alone compounds their value. Notice how the true Sigma doesn't announce his solitary pursuits or seek validation for them. He simply disappears, recharges, and returns stronger. While others constantly broadcast their activities, the Sigma understands that his most transformative work happens in silence, away from the eyes of others. Consider how historical figures, like Nikola Tesla or modern-day innovators like Keanu Reeves, guard their personal time fiercely. They're not hiding, they're investing in themselves. The Sigma doesn't fear being alone. He fears wasting potential by constantly seeking external stimulation. The next time you encounter someone who can vanish from social circles without explanation or apology, who returns renewed rather than desperate for connection, you've likely encountered the strategic solitude of a true Sigma male. El silencio calculado. The genuine Sigma male utilizes silence not as a passive state, but as an active tool. His quietness isn't the awkward gap of someone with nothing to contribute. It's the deliberate pause of someone evaluating whether contribution is necessary at all. In meetings, social gatherings, or even intimate conversations, the Sigma observes how others rush to fill silence with empty words. He recognizes this compulsion for what it is, insecurity disguised as sociability. The Sigma speaks only when his words carry genuine value, creating a gravitational pull around his rare statements. This calculated silence manifests in digital realms as well. While others document every thought and experience online, the Sigma maintains minimal digital footprints. His achievements remain largely unpublicized, creating an air of mystery that naturally draws others toward him rather than pushing his presence onto them. Look for the man who listens intently, while others compete for airtime, who responds thoughtfully rather than reactively. His power lies not in dominating conversation, but in controlling it through strategic absence, a hallmark of true Sigma presence. La disciplina invisible. The authentic Sigma male practices discipline that rarely sees the light of public acknowledgement. Unlike the alpha who broadcasts his 5 a.m. workouts, or the beta who seeks validation for minimal effort, the Sigma builds habits that remain largely invisible to others. This invisible discipline manifests in consistent routines maintained regardless of external recognition. The Sigma doesn't need accountability partners or social media challenges to maintain his regimen. His commitment comes from within, fueled by personal standards that exceed what society typically demands. Consider how the Sigma approaches fitness. No flashy gym selfies, no public progress updates, just years of consistent improvement evidenced only in results. The same applies to his financial discipline, learning pursuits, and personal projects, all advanced methodically behind the scenes. When you encounter someone whose achievements seem to materialize without the typical preceding social announcements, who appears to have mastered skills without the usual public learning journey, you're witnessing the invisible discipline of a true Sigma male. El dominio emotional. The true Sigma male doesn't practice emotional suppression. He masters emotional governance. In situations where others would display reactivity, the Sigma maintains composed awareness, processing complex emotions internally rather than projecting them outward. This emotional dominion isn't cold detachment, but sophisticated regulation. The Sigma feels deeply but responds strategically, recognizing that emotional displays are often manipulated by others or used to extract information about his psychological state. Watch how he navigates crisis situations. While others panic visibly, the Sigma activates problem-solving mode, his emotions serving his objectives rather than derailing them. In personal conflicts, he refuses to engage in emotional escalation. Maintaining rational perspective even when provoked, the Sigma's emotional control extends to positive states as well. His happiness doesn't depend on external validation. His confidence doesn't require constant reinforcement, and his purpose remains unshaken by temporary setbacks or successes. When you observe someone who remains unruffled by provocations that would trigger most men, who processes disappointment without public display, who celebrates achievements without ego inflation, you're witnessing the emotional mastery of a genuine Sigma male. La observación constante. The authentic Sigma male maintains perpetual situational awareness that most never notice. While others engage superficially with their surroundings, the Sigma absorbs details, dynamics, and undercurrents that escape casual observation. This constant observation isn't paranoia, but strategic information gathering. The Sigma notices power dynamics in rooms, registers inconsistencies in statements, and catalogues behavioral patterns without drawing attention to his analytical process. In conversations, he's simultaneously participating and meta-analyzing, tracking, not just what's said, but why it's being said, not just who speaks, but who influences, not just facts presented, but agendas advanced. This depth of perception provides him strategic advantages that appear almost supernatural to those operating with less awareness. The Sigma never reveals the full extent of his observations, understanding that perceived omniscience creates both respect and distance. He uses his insights selectively, intervening only when necessary, rather than displaying his perception at every opportunity. When you encounter someone who seems to anticipate developments before they occur, who understands motivations you haven't verbalized, who navigates complex situations with uncanny precision, you're witnessing the constant observation of a true Sigma male. El perfeccionismo sutil. The genuine Sigma male pursues excellence without announcement or expectation of recognition. Unlike the validation-seeking perfectionist who makes his standards known to all, the Sigma's perfectionism operates behind closed doors, visible only in the flawless results he eventually presents. This subtle perfectionism applies to all domains. His living space maintains impeccable order, not for visitors' approval, but for his own satisfaction. His work exceeds requirements not for praise, but because compromising his standards is personally unacceptable. His appearance is refined not for social media, but for his own self-respect. What separates the Sigma's perfectionism from neurotic variance is its pragmatic nature. He knows when to apply exacting standards and when good enough serves the purpose. He doesn't showcase his process or struggles. Only the completed vision meets public eyes. The Sigma's perfectionism extends to his personal development as well. He continuously refines his mind, body, and skills without external accountability structures, driven by internal metrics invisible to casual observers. When you encounter someone whose work contains nuanced excellence that seems effortless, whose environment reflects thoughtful precision without ostentation, whose capabilities mysteriously advance without public process, you're witnessing the subtle perfectionism of a true Sigma male. La independencia inquebrantable. The authentic Sigma male maintains profound independence that extends beyond superficial self-reliance. While others claim autonomy while secretly seeking approval, the Sigma operates from a genuinely self-contained system of validation, purpose, and motivation. This unshakable independence manifests in his decision-making, uncorrupted by groupthink, peer pressure, or social trends. The Sigma evaluates options based on personal principles and objectives rather than anticipated reactions from others. This often leads him to contrarian positions that later prove prescient. Financial sovereignty forms another pillar of the Sigma's independence. He creates stable resource foundations that prevent external control, prioritizing freedom over status symbols and maintaining strategic reserves that others often sacrifice for immediate gratification. Perhaps most remarkably, the Sigma maintains intellectual independence, consuming information critically rather than adopting complete ideological packages. He synthesizes his own worldview from diverse sources, remaining immune to tribal affiliations that would compromise his cognitive autonomy. When you encounter someone who consistently makes choices that defy conventional wisdom without seeking to justify them, who remains unswayed by social currents that captivate others, who functions as a complete system unto himself, you're witnessing the unbreakable independence of a true Sigma male. El rechazo a la validación externa. The genuine Sigma male operates without the constant need for external validation that drives most human behavior. While others carefully craft personas for social approval, the Sigma pursues his vision regardless of its popularity or comprehension by others. This rejection of external validation isn't arrogance, but liberation, freedom from the psychological prison of others' opinions. The Sigma doesn't dismiss feedback entirely, but evaluates it based on merit rather than emotional impact, integrating useful criticism while discarding social manipulation disguised as advice. Observe how this manifests in his relationship to achievement. The Sigma rarely announces goals before accomplishing them, doesn't seek congratulations after successes, and often downplays major milestones that others would leverage for status. His satisfaction comes from the achievement itself, rather than the recognition it generates. This internal validation system extends to his interpersonal relationships as well. The Sigma values connections that offer genuine exchange, rather than ego reinforcement, gravitating toward the authentic few rather than the admiring many. When you encounter someone who pursues unconventional paths without defensiveness, who seems strangely immune to criticism that would devastate others, who accomplishes remarkable feats without seeking acknowledgement, you're witnessing the rejection of external validation that defines the true Sigma male. La consistencia silenciosa. The authentic Sigma male maintains remarkable consistency that rarely calls attention to itself. Unlike the alpha, who demands recognition for temporary efforts, or the beta, who celebrates minimal progress, the Sigma builds momentum through invisible daily actions that compound over time. This silent consistency appears in his fitness regimen. No public declarations of transformation, just years of disciplined development. In his career, no announcements of ambition, just strategic advancement through sustained excellence. In his relationships, no dramatic displays of loyalty, just unwavering reliability when it matters most. The Sigma's consistency stems from internalized standards rather than external accountability. He doesn't require motivation hacks, public commitments, or social pressure to maintain his course. His word to himself carries more weight than promises to others. Most importantly, the Sigma maintains philosophical consistency between private and public life. While others present carefully curated versions of themselves to different audiences, the Sigma's core principles remain unchanged regardless of context, creating an unshakable authenticity that others instinctively trust. When you encounter someone whose lifestyle reflects the same principles year after year without wavering, whose progress follows a steady trajectory rather than erratic bursts, whose character remains unchanged by fluctuating circumstances, you're witnessing the silent consistency of a true Sigma male. La evolución perpetua. The genuine Sigma male commits to continuous evolution that often escapes notice until its cumulative effects become undeniable. Unlike those who announce transformations before achieving them, the Sigma evolves quietly, revealing changes only after they've been fully integrated. This perpetual evolution spans all domains, physical capabilities enhanced without social, media documentation, intellectual horizons expanded without credential seeking, emotional intelligence deepened without virtue signaling, financial positions strengthened without status displays. What distinguishes the Sigma's evolution is its self-directed nature. He doesn't follow developmental fads or adopt others' transformation templates. He designs personal growth pathways aligned with his unique vision and adjusts them based on results rather than external feedback. Most significantly, the Sigma evolves without attachment to his former self. While others cling to outdated identities for consistency, the Sigma willingly sheds previous versions when they no longer serve his progression, maintaining core values while continuously upgrading their implementation. When you encounter someone whose capabilities seem to mysteriously expand, whose perspectives demonstrate unexpected depth, whose strategies reveal surprising sophistication compared to your last interaction, you're witnessing the perpetual evolution of a true Sigma male. What truly separates the authentic Sigma male from those merely adopting the label is this consistent pattern of powerful behaviors performed in silence, without the need for witness or validation. These aren't traits to be imitated superficially. They emerge naturally from the Sigma mindset of self-contained purpose and internal standards. As we've explored these 10 silent indicators of true Sigma nature, reflect on which resonates most with your current development. The path to authentic Sigma status isn't found in external symbols or social positioning. It's built through these private disciplines that eventually manifest as undeniable presence. If this exploration of Sigma psychology has provided valuable insights for your journey, take a moment to subscribe to Official Sigma Male. Why? Because understanding these principles is just the beginning. Implementing them requires consistent reinforcement and deeper exploration that our channel provides. Join our community of men committed to genuine development rather than surface-level signaling. Until next time, focus on building your Sigma foundation in silence. The results will eventually speak for themselves.